remember the first time we lived in Tampa at the time, and I saw an ad for Lakewood Ranch. And I remember thinking, oh, that would be a really cool community. And it was shortly after that you were driving around in this area and that God really spoke to you.
Yeah, I was just driving around by myself. I would go and explore areas and drive around and pray. God, is this the area? And so the places at Braden River Middle School and Braden River Elementary School, those two schools kind of share the same property. And it was right when school was getting out. It was February of 2002. Kids, the bell rings, kids are coming out, and all the parents are in their cars picking up their kids. Some are in their golf carts, and these kids and these families everywhere. And I saw all of that. And God spoke to me at that moment and said, Randy, you see all these families here? These people, they need me. I want you to come here and reach people for me and build great families. That was the moment.
So I was actually living in Dallas, Texas, and I get a call in one day from this guy that I'm interning with, and he says, hey, I've got this pastor friend who's planning a church in Florida, and I'd love for you to connect with him, think it might be a good fit. So I hopped on a phone call with Pastor Randy and kind of got a feel for this whole idea of a life-giving church, kind of like what Bayside is today, and flew down here, and 2 months later I moved here, man. I often joke with him about that being the worst job offer ever, because I literally moved here with no promise of anything other than, hey, an opportunity to just, serve and love on young people.
I think the crazy part was we knew God called us here. Yet, leading up to starting Bayside, we picked a date, September 8th, 2002. Yet, we had nowhere to meet leading up to that.
And it was a struggle back then, because so many of the places that we looked at would either the answer was no, or they already had a church or somebody else meeting in there.
There was only one school, Bayside Elementary, that did not have a church meeting in it. Randy and Jordan and Matt went over to Bayside Elementary and thought, we're just going to walk the parking lot and just pray.
Yeah, I was a head custodian at the school here. Pastor Randy and Matt and Jordan Becknell, they were walking around the campus of the school, and I saw them on the campus, and of course we were supposed to keep a sort of a guard and not let people come onto the campus. And I approached them and I asked them what they were doing, and they said that they were looking for a place to start a church.
And at that moment, Rex said, you know what, we need a church here.
That's right.
And I had to go to the principal at that time and ask them, and they did not want to have it because it was going to be such a hassle. The other custodians that worked under me did not want to do it. They didn't want to mess up their weekends and things like that. So, but I said, well, I'd take care of it.
He was really influential, I believe, in us getting into Bayside in the first place and having a place to meet.
And if Rex had not walked out there that day and said that, where would we be right now?
Yeah.
So,
Without him, though, the church would have never started.
Right.
When we moved here in June of 2002, our street wasn't even in a database. So my in-laws, Shannon's parents, gave us this flyer. This just says resident, but this was the first. So we had been looking for a church.
All summer long.
Yep.
Yeah.
And your mom gave us a postcard and said, here, you might want to check this out. So we came to the first service.
The first Sunday, all 7 of my children were with us, my husband and I, and the 7 kids, and we walked in to Bayside. Worship had just started, and there were about 80 people, and the worship was amazing.
So when I met Randy, my first meeting as being on staff was, hey, you have 48 days to put together a worship team. In a city I didn't know anybody. So I found a 16-year-old drummer. I found a guy who could play bass. Never heard him play before, but he just spoke like he had a resume a mile long. And our first service, we had a keyboard on stage, but there was nobody to play it. We just highlighted it like, hey, we need a keyboard player.
He was just worshiping and leading us, and I felt connected, and I wanted to come back.
So the third week of Bayside, we actually walked through the doors. There was a sense that, wow, this is for us. And as much as we have lived our life and raised in this community and prayed for this community to have a church out here, we knew we were home.
So September 8th was our first service. September 1st, on that Sunday, we did a practice service.
Yeah.
And our 20 people on our team, I gave them vision for what God was going to do, and I called them all up on the platform. And I had them face out towards where the people are, and I had them close their eyes and get a vision of this place full. I mean, full with people worshiping God, see it with people getting saved and marriages being healed and people being set free. Just get that vision in your mind and open your eyes and see it like that. And on Easter Sunday, it was packed just like that vision that everybody put in their mind. And it was like, oh, it was a fulfillment. And we knew, at this time I knew, well, Bashaw, we need a bigger school.